We'll quickly see a couple of sentences we did last time and then proceed. Unsatisfied forces in her bosom, unsatisfied. Unsatisfied does not mean dissatisfied. Unsatisfied means they have not got yet their fulfillment. They have not realized what they wish to achieve. See, in her bosom, great mother's bosom, her stands for that great mother. The description is about her. See. They are partners of her greater growing fate. That is why they are unsatisfied. That the greatness that must come to her is not there yet. And that keeps them unsatisfied. And her return to immortality, in fact, that is a great ambition, that is a great purpose which they already see in the entire scheme of things. But then this wave of mortality, this wave of death is so strong that they are not yet able to come closer to immortality, and therefore they are unsatisfied, you see. They consent to share her doom of birth and death, the mortal life, doom of birth and death. So actually they see this process of birth and death as her doom, her of the great mother. But in reality, in fact, it is by the process of birth and death that things are moving towards immortality. They kindle partial gleams of the all and drive her blind, laborious spirit to compose a bigger or the mighty whole. So their effort is small, therefore it is meager, mighty whole. The objective is so great. What is that mighty whole? Immortality. In the immediate context, it is immortality which they are seeking for. And what they have achieved is a very small little thing in the whole thing, see. So while the forces are having that thirst, that urge, that yearning to grow, there is also within us a calm person, calm individual, the calm and luminous intimacy within, intimacy who is so very close to us, who is so friendly, who is so warm to us. The little God, the little Vishnu who is there within us, it is He actually approves her work and guides the unseen power. The power is not able to see, but then it is He actually who is really guiding the whole thing, you see. The intimate divine, the immanent divine, that is what the intimacy is, the immanent divine, you see. His vast design accepts a puny start. He is of that intimacy. Puny start, obviously, puny start, I mean, suffering, falsehood, pain, anguish, all these are there, and out of that thing he is trying to grow up, you see, like that, you see. His vast design, what is the vast design? The vast design is again connected with the objective of immortality. An attempt drawing half done in the world's life. Yeah, well, that is what our life is really a half done attempt, you see. It has not yet really reached the fulfillment yet. Half done, well, we have achieved something, we have come up to a certain point. Man is at least aspiring for the greatness of the Spirit's powers to enter into him. And that is really done something which was not there earlier at all. In the lower creature, animals, plants, lower objects, that aspiration is very dormant, very small, very little, but man is now able to participate in the process of growth and expansion and ascension, you see, and attempt a drawing half done with the world's alive, its lines doubt the conceived significance of the drawing. Its lines doubt their concealed significance. Yeah, well, the drawings are there, sketches are there, but then the design is not yet very clear. Its curves join not their high intended close. They are moving on. If you make rangoli or whatever it is, but then it is an open-ended thing. It is not closed on itself yet, you see, the design. Half done is what it means basically, you see. Why half done? You are halfway on the way to immortality. You have come closer to your soul. You are getting intimate with the soul is taking you forward. That itself is something which is a great progress. And then it is that which is expected you to take you further up, you see. Yet some first image of greatness trembles there. That is very true. Man has become spiritual. That is the greatness. That is the image which is trembling in front of you. It is not steady. It is not becoming a permanent part of your consciousness yet, you see, but it is there. Yet some first image of greatness trembles there, and when the ambiguous crowded parts have met, well, the lines of the drawing which had remained open, when they come and close upon themselves, the many-toned unity to which they moved, the artist's joy shall laugh at reason's rules. Reason may not agree, may not understand, may not even believe that kind of a thing. And therefore, the joy of the creator or the artist, the designer who has made that design, it is his joy which will be fulfilled. The divine intention suddenly shall be seen. The end vindicate intuition's sure technique. You see, you don't know how you are led, but something keeps on happening and you keep on moving. Some sort of an intuition keeps on working in man all the while. We are not even aware of it. We think that it is by our reason we have made a progress, but we don't know at what point of time the intuition has really entered in and taken you forward. We don't know. Sometimes, suddenly it slips in and you are taken. And Einstein comes, he suddenly writes an equation, and then the whole thing changes with that, you see. How that intuition comes, how you take it forward. Now, and the end vindicate intuition, sure technique. Intuition is surer than reason. The contrast here is between reason and intuition. The hesitant, the doubtful reason is no more there now. What we have is the surety of the intuition. A grass shall be of many meeting worlds. The lines which had remained closed, they will close upon themselves. The graph, the drawing, the design, the artist's scheme is fine. A cube and union, crystal of the gods. It is not union crystal, it is a cube and union, crystal of the gods. Now here it is understood, a cube and union shall be crystal of the gods. A cube and union shall be the crystal of the gods. Now, a mind shall think behind nature's mindless mask. A conscious mask fill the old, dumb, brute space. See, Sri keeps on kind of hammering the objective of his yoga all the while. Where it has to go, how it has to proceed further and further and further. A grass shall be of many meeting worlds. A cube and union, crystal of the God. A cube, well, cube of course is a six-sided figure, each side a perfect square. So it is a perfect kind of a solid, you see. Union. Now it's a very difficult word. I mean, it is very difficult to really understand what he means by a cube and union. Shall be a crystal of the God. Now, I believe that this union used here in this line has a Shakespearean sense. Has a Shakespearean sense. The Shakespearean sense is a pearl. 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 I mean, that is what I believe, because he is talking of crystal also now, you see. Yeah. A cube, a perfect figure, perfect object, perfect solid, with every side perfect, square is the signature of the perfection itself, and then pearl, bright, precious pearl. I will not exchange my soul even for the precious pearl. That is what the Bible says, you see. But here, this is a perfect pearl, you see, actually. See. A cube and union, crystal of the God, crystal, a huge big quartz. Crystal normally is for a huge piece of glass, but traditionally it symbolizes quartz, silicon dioxide as a crystal, which is a very beautiful kind of a glass, you see. When it is completely polished and rounded and all that thing, it looks absolutely beautiful. And actually it is from the quartz itself, with the doping of chromium, you have now laser beam. The first laser beam was obtained by using a quartz crystal, quartz doped with chromium, and then that was used for producing the laser beam in 1959, you see. By Mammoth. The physicist who did it was Mammoth. Is it so? Yeah. You remember? Yeah. A cube and union, crystal of the God. Now that is what it is hoped. A grass shall be of many meeting worlds. So it will be a perfection, perfect object, solid, pearl, shining, lustrous, precious thing, you see.
The cube stands for the supermind.
Huh?
The cube is standing for the supermind as a symbol.
Yeah, basically square, all the six faces are square.
Yes, sure.
All the six faces are square, you see. It is perfect symbol of perfection. Actually, square itself is perfection. And here you have got 6 squares, so it is perfect perfection. 6 squares, 6-sided, a solid bounded by 6 sides, each side is square. So that is what the world will be. A graph will be turned into a cube and a crystal and a union, crystal of the God. Now, of course, union here also gets linked up with meeting, joining together, coming together of the many worlds, you see. Although in this experience sense, it is pearl, you can also link it up with the meeting of many worlds together. That is what the cube is, you see. A mind shall think behind nature's mindless man. A mind shall think behind nature's mindless man. A mind shall think, I am behind nature's trucky, mindless man, amphibrach. Mindless mass, that is the amphibrach, critic. Yeah. A conscious vast fill the old dumb brute space. So that curve shall make a perfect world. That space will become a cube and union of God. Crystal of the God, crystal of the gods, that also you see. Now, crystal of the gods. It is not the crystal of man, it is not from matter also, see, of gods. So there should be something very special about this crystal.
Yeah.
Our crystal, material crystal, has a kind of a material perfection, a symmetry, a beauty, a charm, a solidity, and that kind of a thing is there, you see. Our crystals are like that, you see. It can produce a laser beam also, you see. But the crystal of God, it holds in it all the possibilities of the divine expression. It reflects, crystal will reflect all the aspects of divine possibilities, various aspects of divine possibilities of the gods. This God will reflect that, that God will reflect that, that God will reflect that. Various possibilities, the spirit can get reflected through this crystal, can come into our views. That is the crystal of the gods. Our crystal will not give the possibility of the spirit coming into our view, you see. Our crystal will not. But here the crystal of the gods had that power, that potentiality, that inherent intrinsic character of that crystal is to reflect the possibility of the spirit. That is why it is the crystal of the gods. See? I mean, he is not just a poetic phrase, he really means something very deep and occult when he says crystal of the god. Actually, we can reflect back on the earlier phrase also. Erect like a mountain chariot of the gods. Erect the whole hierarchy of the world. Erect like a mountain chariot of the gods. Again, that chariot of the gods, he says chariot of the gods, it is a chariot of the gods, not of heroes and warriors and men and warriors like that, you see, but of the gods themselves, chariot of the gods, that is the quality. In other words, what is the difference between the chariot of a warrior, human warrior, and chariot of the god? What is the difference? The chariot of the gods will be flaming with all the intensities of the divine. The horses of the chariot will be the spirit's energies driving the chariot upward. The spirit's energy, spirit's power, they will drive the chariot up the hill. So it is the chariot of the gods which is really climbing up, you see. All the powers of the spirit are present and the gods are carrying it. In other words, actually the whole process of evolution is aided strongly by this chariot of the gods. It is this chariot of the gods which is really taking the evolution upward, 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 up the mountain like that, you see. So that is the chariot of the gods, you see. Here you got the crystal of the gods, you see. Chariot of the gods, see, we normally miss the sense of why he is calling it the chariot of God. There has to be a difference between the chariot of man and chariot of God. Otherwise, it is the powers of the spirit which are driving the entire movement in the speed and intensity and force and impetuosity with which things are moving. That is the chariot of the gods, you see. A cube and union crystal with the crystal of the god. A mind shall think behind nature's mindless mass. A mind which is not of reason, earlier I said reason, not even of intuition, but something more than that. A deeper spiritual mind with the possibilities of receiving the higher knowledge. It is that mind shall think behind nature's mindless mask. Yeah, nature doesn't have mask. Nature's mask is a mindless mask, you see. So, the mind behind nature's mind, it is that which will really think. A bright, luminous mind which is in a kind of a contact with the divine, it is that mind which will really think in the whole process, you see. Now, a mind shall think behind. Now, this a mind shall think. It is not supermind. It is a mind. It is not supermind. Because a supermind does not think. It knows it is there. It is knows, it is not there. See. So he means that it is not really supermind, it is a real something very bright kind of a mind which is possible here. In fact, the possibilities of manifestation mean that our mind, our life force, our physical, they must be able to express their divine qualities. That is that mind, that is that life force, that is that the physical, expressing, which is capable of expressing the divine quality. The divine quality of mind, when it comes into expression, then it becomes a mind behind nature's mind, a superior mind. You see. This is certainly not supermind, you see. A conscious vast, brahat, fill the old, dumb, brute spirit. So Shivantu is kind of hammering his philosophy everywhere, every small little occasion, and then he will hammer his philosophy. See, earlier we have seen the march, the evolution has to go further up till the nation dusk from the soul of man is lifted. He uses the phrase, still the nation dusk of the soul of man is lifted. There is a nation dusk upon the soul of man, and that has to disappear. That is how. In other words, this theme of evolution and the possibilities, the divine entry into scheme of things is a constant description in Shivantu's writings everywhere. I mean, he will use every little occasion to bring that aspect, kind of hammering into you. You can say he will use every occasion, he will create every occasion to keep on expressing it. He will keep on creating, you see, to hammer into you, see.